What's up YouTube, sometimes lucky draws here today with my locus recap. Match 1 was a Freewin sadly, but match 2 was against Dinos. I won the die roll and opened Godly. I summoned Stratos, searched for Ferris like always, discarding and special summoning Ferris, getting my increase, getting Vion to the field, and Vion gives you +2, getting the search plus the liquid soldier, the fusion to the hand. And you can go for the combo with Sunriser, getting 2 draws plus the Miracle Fusion. And luckily I drew into Mask Change, so I had full combo with Darklaw, Plasma and Phoenix Destroyer. I also had Fusion Destiny in hand. So the best possible board with heroes, turn 1. Very, very cool. I summoned Cross Crusader, but he had the trap in hand. Which was not effective at this moment. It allowed him to draw 1 card, same for me, but it negated nothing, so I could still play. And his hand trap was basically attack point boost for my Plasma, as you can see now. I tributed 3 heroes and took his hand trap, and I set 2 in past turn. He had Mystic Mine as a first opener, and I was like, dude, no way, I have to Phoenix Destroyer chain this. But he played Pot of Prosperity. I didn't want to activate a Mask Change, and I saw Dark Ruler no more. I was like, no man, no, I can't believe it. And he had also Imperm and negated my Plasma, therefore I couldn't do anything against his monsters. And I can't chain the Mask Change since he would play Dark Ruler no more and my Darklaw would be dead. Therefore I didn't want to activate this card. He normal summoned the Dino. The baby Dino attacked and was able to summon another Dino. I can't remember for sure how he was able to summon one, but maybe the field spell or some other spell card, I can't remember. But he played the Soul Dino. It allows him to dump 1 Dino to the graveyard, and obviously he chose the Fire Dino. The Fire Dino, which is limited to 1. And yeah, I had obviously to activate my Cold by the Grave to banish the Fire Dino, because this Fire Dino would allow him to special summon 1 Dino from the deck to the field if he banishes Dinos with the same level as the special summon monster. But yeah, he could still continue with the Fossil Dino and play the 1 search card. Yes, it was the spell search card for the Dinos, which allows him to add 1 Dino to the hand, and went into his Link summon, the Scrap Link, which allows you to search 1 Scrap monster and normal summon 1 additional Scrap monster to the field, so he could go off with his Link plays. He wanted to go into Exciton Knight, but he misread the card. It says in hand and on the field. So I had less cards than he, so his effect wouldn't resolve, and I allowed him to return the card back to the extra deck and go into Appaloosa. So a fair play from me. He misread the card, but yeah, it's a locals. I'm not a super annoying player to play against. I'm super cool in the duels, so he went into Appaloosa and summoned his Ultimate Terreno and basically passed turn. I drew into Emergency Call, plus I had Miracle Fusion in hand, so not bad. I played the E-Call, searched myself Stratos, and I went into the battle phase because of Appaloosa. I want to get rid of her with the Sunriser, since he had more attack points than Appaloosa, so easy choice for me. And he had no out against that, so Appaloosa was basically useless for him. And I activated my Mask Change on Stratos, since I have no dark monsters, so better to go to the wind monster and bouncing his field spell back to the hand. Plus I can go into battle phase with the effect of Sunriser and yeah, the normal summon of Stratos, searching myself the Adjusted Gold, getting my Dark Calling, plus playing the Absolute Zero to have some protection on the field, since he had Dark Ruler no more, and if he manages to wipe my board, he will lose his board as well if Absolute Zero goes to the grave. So that was my idea behind it. Maybe it was a bad call, I'm not sure, but that was my play. And he had another Pot of Prosperity. Man, this card is so broken, and he got his draw which he needed, played the Dark Ruler no more, played his Soul Raptor, dumped his monster to the... no, he searched the Tyranno and could not Tyranno, but I forgot the name from this dino, but it's also a powerful one. And he went into the Exaton Knight and cleared my board. Absolute Zero resolved, also destroying Exaton Knight. But yeah, it was very rough. I lost all my boss monsters. I had only Bane left, plus I think Honest Neos, I'm not sure. And yeah, that was basically it. I couldn't do much. I played Dark Calling, but his other dino had a 1000 point attack boost, so it was a lost game. Game 2, I opened up Brick City, I set 2 pass turn. I had Judgment, Droll Knockbird, Malicious, Mass Change and Miracle Fusion, so a completely dead hand. And my opponent couldn't play as well since I had Judgment and Droll Knockbird, plus the Cold by the Grave, I don't know, no, yes it's Cold by the Grave. And yeah, but I had no follow-up since my draw was not that good. And a big info, I forgot to resolve Phoenix Destroyer effect in my first game. It would won me the game for sure, but I activated the effect in the grave and forgot to summon him since there was so much action going on. I had to read all the cards, like 20 summons plus, and I was not used to play against Dinos, therefore I was a bit unsure and just forgot to resolve the Phoenix Destroyer effect. Very dumb of me. In a big tournament there would be a resolved game state, I think. We would replay the game, but in a locals I said, whatever man, I take the L, whatever. It's just a fun game, right? I don't care that much. And yeah, lessons learned, I did not forget to resolve the effect all the other games, so I put him always to the side to remember he's in the grave. So a little trick, just put him a bit to the side in your graveyard so you have him always inside and know to activate the effect. And yeah, as you can see in game 2, he destroyed me completely since I bricked, and he had all the monsters in his second turn since I used all my negations and interruptions in turn 1 and my draw was not helpful. My next draw would be Stratos, and that would change the game. If I had Stratos in my first draw, I would have won since I could go to the combo, discarding Malicious, getting the Ferris, etc. But yeah, happens. 3 was against Subterror. I won the die roll and opened up Stratos. He ashed my Stratos, big mistake. I had follow up with Fusion Destiny and could go into my full combo. Yeah, big mistake against hero players. Don't ash the Stratos or the Eco. It's a big mistake. You have to ash the Increase or the Fusion Destiny. Those are your targets. All the other cards are not that important because if the hero player has follow up, he will end up with the end board anyways. Your ash won't have an effect. So a big note, the Increase or the Fusion Destiny as your ash targets. And yeah, you can see I could still summon all my boss monsters, the Sunriser, the Phoenix Destroyer, the Plasma, and the set 1. Past turn he had only a decent hand. He had 2 back row cards plus 1 set monster. That was it for his turn, and against Phoenix Destroyer, as you can see, I could grind his back row away with my Phoenix Destroyer, and that was pretty much game. He couldn't do anything. Game 2 he decided to go first. He set 3 and passed turn. I played evenly matched, banishing 2 of his back row cards. He played Ash against a hero lives, but I had still normal summon Stratos, the search effect, and chained Mass Change to his there can only be one trap. So I could get my Masked Hero who bounces the trap back to the hand, and my Stratos effect resolves to get the search for another Stratos against back row, obviously. The second effect of Stratos is super important in this matchup now. So yeah, I bounced all the traps back to the hand, normal summon Stratos, and that was basically game. I mean, he couldn't do that much other than watching his trap cards getting bounced back to the hand. Luckily I had enough life points to pay all the time. Match 4 I lost against Unchained 1-2. My opponent didn't want the match to be recorded, so I give you some bonus matches. From my second tournament I played Sword Soul against Floowandereez. My opponent opened up with Eagle and his additional normal summons to get the Emperor on board, and obviously getting his search, the map, playing also the map and setting 2 back row and passing turn to me. I special summoned Veshuda, got into my monk and wanted to bounce the map, since the map activates when I normal summon 1 monster, so he can summon 1 additional monster to the field. That's why I wanted to bounce the card. I played Long Yuan and got myself the Banish guy, the new Sword Soul support monster, against the map, a second map or one continuous spell or trap card, so that was a better choice instead of Baron de Fleur, but he had Book of Moon. Set back my Synchro monster, but I still had a normal summon Ecclesia, activating her effect, getting Taya on the field, banishing one Soul card and going into my Synchro. I went into Grandmaster because I want to search the Blackout. Blackout is very good against Floowandereez since they have a lot of back row, and Blackout destroys the back row plus the Empen on the field, so a very good choice. And I had the extra dump from Taya effect since he was used for a Synchro summon. I dumped the Atara, banished the Atara and got myself the, I think, Vishuda back to the hand. And yeah, past turn, set 2. I was very confident with my setup. I had 2 Synchro monsters plus 2 back rows. One of them is Blackout, so I can interrupt my opponent if he decides to play the map or some other nasty cards. And his Empen is useless. He went into battle phase, I activated Blackout, tributed my monk and destroyed his back row plus the Empen. And yeah, he lost his field. I special summoned the Taya from the grave, went into the second Grandmaster and yeah, searched myself a random card, but it was game. He had not enough life points to withstand such an attack. I had also the Dragite on the field. Another match was against Life Twins. I played also Soul against them in the second tournament. I lost the die roll. He opened up with his normal summon and Search. I played Ash against his Search, but he had also the spell card to get an additional monster to the field. Went into both of his twins and into Trouble Sunny, so he had the established board with Trouble Sunny and both of his twins in the graveyard, the Link monsters. I special summoned Tara and activated Emergency Teleport. He played Infinite Impermanence on Tara to negate the teleport, but I had a second teleport luckily, so I could go into Yazi, and since Yazi can destroy one of his cards, and I decided to destroy his back row card, because I had also Fusion Destiny in hand against his Trouble Sunny or his other twins. So yeah, that was my plan, but he had Ash in hand, unfortunately. When I played Fusion Destiny, he played Ash. I was like, no, my plan is ruined. And yeah, that was basically game. I couldn't do anything. I lost all my resources and he could attack for game. He had more than enough attack points on the field. And yeah, I had to scoop. I had only Vishuda and the monk.